Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Delta T Racing. It's Thursday night, so it's time for Division 5, our last league race of the week, but by no means the least. Normally get some very good, exciting driving from Division number 5. We are here tonight from the Shanghai International Circuit from China. So round number 2 of 12. We will be going to Shanghai next week and then obviously having the break for the Christmas period. So let's just get the telemetry up, ready for the lap. Who is first out? It's going to be Crudor today. So we're going to jump on with him. Would like to stay on the first person out of the pits. Whilst we're running around, we'll just discuss the championship. Obviously, early days as of yet, but we have Havoc Connor taking the win and fastest lap last week on his debut, so leads on 26 points from Kazernikov in second on 18 points. Skipper with a fantastic podium for him. In the opening race of the season, in third place on 15. Then we have MBB in fourth, Jurek in fifth, Dr. Scenic in sixth, Composite in seventh. Nerdy in eighth at the moment. He'll be hoping for a better race than last week. Didn't quite go his way, so we'll keep an eye on him. All the best for tonight. Hans Buer. Also, I think we can expect a bit better from him. He raced last night. Unfortunately, he just ran out of fuel on sort of with a lap to go, but hopefully a little bit better tonight. And we've got Malt as well running at the top 10, so obviously after one round that is where we are currently standing. Okay, so Crudor now coming on to the start-finish line to start his opening lap and the opening lap of the session. So he should be the time to beat. There we are, going around this long right-hand turn number 1. It's quite an awkward one to get right there, especially to get the drive off into sort of turns 2 and 3. But one thing about Bahrain is it is very, very thirsty on fuel, especially if there is no safety car to do any fuel saving at all. You will see people struggling towards the end. So hopefully we're not going to see any of that tonight, but it's always something to keep an eye on in the latter stages. So right, just going with Crudor now coming towards the end of Sector 2. We'll see what time he pops on the table, 53.570. So I'm expecting the pole here to be a low 133. Probably even be a 33.3. I think we've predicted a 33.5. I think they could probably push a bit lower than that. But we will find out shortly. So Crudor now coming towards the end of the opening lap to set the marker for everybody else. I think behind it, who we've got? Hans. No, it's not Hans, it's the other McLaren of Jurek. Will be next across the line. We'll try and catch them. So Crudor puts in a 34.6. Jurek doesn't put in the time there. Unfortunately, takes a bit of a spin. Havoc is coming around to complete his opening hard lap. MBB going into second place there, W into third. Dr. Scenic 34.3, eclipsed straight away by Havoc with a 33.969. So only puts into 33's early days, but I am expecting that time to tumble a bit more. Right, who are we going to jump on now? Who is... Brother Adam is starting. And Skipper is just about to complete his lap here. We'll see what time Skipper can pop in. A 34.8 current in 5th place. We have an AlphaTauri of Chef JB up into 5th. So Chef JB I don't think had the best opening round either. jump on with Hans Buer. So purple sector 2 there. He's certainly got pace on him. We'll see if he can add his time there. So I think we've got a couple of qualifying bands as well tonight, if I remember rightly. Trying to remember who it is. I think one of them is one of our commentators, Kieran. A bit of an incident last week. Can't remember who the other one is. So we will have a couple that aren't going to be setting time. So nothing to the Hans Buer there. 33.864 leapfrogs up into pole position. So him and Havoc currently at the moment reaping havoc. We are currently missing Nerdy at the moment. Nerdy Average Gamer. He'll be joining us hopefully shortly. Some personal things that he has to deal with, but he will be on the track shortly. So who are we going to jump on with? I think we've got a AlphaTauri just about to finish. I think the chef, is he going to come into the pits? I see, is that rain? There's raindrops. Ooh, interesting. So you need to get out now and hope that the track doesn't get too wet, because it's not going to improve. So P20 Nuno, I think he got pole position last week, if I remember rightly. I might be completely wrong on that, but I think he got pole position last week. Or it was Kozernikov. It was one of the P20s. I think it was Kozernikov actually last week got pole position. So talking up the backside again, but we definitely have rain falling on the Shanghai circuit, and that is going to totally ruin anybody who's not out at the moment. So Hans Buer coming into the pits. Who do we have? Brother Adam has gone for a bit of a spin. Baldi is into the pits as well. Jurek 36.6 manages to put down, so improving on his early time of 47, but unfortunately he had a spin in that one. So P20 Nuno is C. I think he's going to struggle in this weather now. He is, I mean, 8 seconds down on his time. So I think it's already starting to get slippy, but whether we are going to have a wet race or not, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it looks like the rain is going to get heavier during this session. I mean, currently we're at 27% chance of rain, and it is raining. It's then going to go to a 40 and a 53% chance. So yet again, it seems that these guys are cursed with moisture in their races. As I say, last year, the majority of these were Division 6. Obviously, we've scrunched up the divisions ever so slightly. But they had, I think it was nearly every single race last season was wet. So, yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we see rain in this session. Okay, who is on a lap? I think Jurek's coming Brown, but I think he's probably going to come into the pits now. 10% ERS. Fuel light is flashing away. So, yes, he is into the pits. Next, just try to see who we have on a lap. Is it Fairy Tale? Who hasn't put a time on the board yet. Prize Phantom also in trouble with a 56.0 there, but is back on track, so we'll be looking at trying to reduce that time down. But here we go. This will be interesting. Fairy Tale crossing the line. 37.585, so the track is getting damp now. I can't see these times improving. Price should improve on his time that he set. Price now 53, just looking at his time. 2.9 down. He's going to be looking, yeah, 36, 37 on that time. So I think we've certainly seen the best of this track with regards to the weather conditions. Obviously, it's going to deteriorate more and more now. So we could, well, already have our... Yeah. So have a bolt in that. I think he realises there's just not enough speed in the track now. So I think what we are looking at now could well be our starting grid for the race. With Dr. Scenic. Let's see what time he can put in. As I said, I don't think, unfortunately, it's going to be much of an improvement, certainly when that happens. But yeah, far too wet out there now for the dry tyres. So yeah, he balls that one. Mork continue. Actually, Mork puts in a... Oh no, he was on an outlap. Apologies, I was going to say he's been in a 34.3. Proved me completely wrong, but was looking at the wrong data there. So as it stands at the moment, Hans Buer on pole position in the McLaren. Havoc Connor, last week's race winner, in second place currently. Then we've got Dr. Scenic in third. Fourth we have Mork, who we're on board with now. Crudor, first person to set the time coming out. I think that was quite wise actually, early days, if there was the rain coming. So it's managed to get a decent time on the board in fifth place there. Chef JB in sixth, seventh. Skipper eighth. His brother Adam, put my teeth back in, composite in ninth, and BB Baldy E rounding out the top 10. But I really don't see many times improving. We do have some persistent people out there giving it a go. Obviously Mork that we're on board with now, but the time is slow. Brother Adam as well. Every time I go to Brother Adam, he's spinning round. I'm just going to leave him be, I think, today. Durek as well, coming towards the end of sector 1. He's already 1.16 down on his time, so there is no improvement at all to be had there. Okay, so I think that is going to be our grid, still with 5 minutes of qualifying to go. So yeah, unfortunately the weather catching a few people out. Obviously Kieran had the qualifying ban anyway. Kozelnikov, he didn't get out at all. So again, I'm not sure if he was the other one with the qualifying ban, but I'm not going to speculate without facts. But those two not actually managing to set a time. Price Phantom setting a 1:56, which I mean, it's slow for him. Obviously, he had issues on that lap, but then didn't get a chance to actually put a competitive lap in before the rain came down. So, but yeah, it looks like this is our grid. We do have BB Baldy, who is persisting with it, perhaps getting a little bit of a feeling. So I do wonder if we are... Yeah, I wonder if he's just getting a bit of practice in. So I do wonder if we get, so if we're going to have a wet race, or at least some moisture within the race. So Baldy now coming round. So 43.1, but I'm not sure if that was out the pit. I don't think it was, because obviously it was a time, but he's just getting some practice in on the intermediate. Seen that most of the others are now starting to retire from the session. Obviously not going out again, as the rain doesn't look like it's going to end until after qualifying has ended. But do we have a wet or a dry race? Perhaps somebody could let me know. If not, I'll be with everybody else and we'll just find out as and when it happens. The very unpredictable weather at China normally does include a sprinkling or an absolute downpour. Left, Baldy losing it a bit there, just under traction coming out of turn number 13. I got distracted and do apologise, but yeah, it's a difficult one to get the traction on there, because obviously you want to put your foot down as quick as you can to get a decent drive onto the long straight. You don't want to get on it too soon, because it is very easy to spin. I think Baldy now just having a little bit of fun out there in the conditions, so I would take it that that is the end of qualifying. But we do have another car out on the track. MBB also going out on a set of mediums. Mediums? Inters. Sorry, it's been a long day. My apologies. But yeah, it looks like he might just be going out to get a feel of it as well. We are down to the last few seconds of qualifying now, and it will be over. Obviously, with everybody in the pits, it should be quite quick. Yeah, MBB slowing down to not cross the line before it finishes, so well done to him there. So that is qualifying complete, and a pole position to Hans Buer, getting it just right before the rain came down to put in a 1:33.864, just ahead of Havoc, so last week's race winner. So he'll be looking to continue his good form. But let's run through the grid. So we've got Hans Buer in pole position, Havoc Connor in second, third is Dr. Scenic Kitchen. In fourth we have Malk. Fifth, Crudor. Sixth, Chef JB. Seventh is Skipper. Eighth, Brother Adam. Ninth, Composite. 10th, Baldy. In 11th, MBB. Salza in 12th. Double in 13th. Durek 14th. Nuno Rod in 15th. Fairy Tale 16th. 17th is Prize Phantom. And Kieran in last place there. But we are hoping that we can have Nerdy Average Gamer join us for the race. But we'll see if he actually makes it onto the back of the grid or not. So apologies, I don't have any graphics available this week. It's been a very busy week, so I've not had a chance to get it ready. I've got a couple of snippets. Obviously, we can have a look at the constructors' standings after last week. Mercedes leading the way with 38 points, then Ferrari in second on 21, Aston Martin in third on 19. Then we have McLaren with 12. Alfa Romeo with 8 and AlphaTauri in 6th place. Last and scorers with 4 points. The rest of the teams yet to score, but as I said, we're only one race in on the season. Okay, so strategies have been selected, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look to see what tyres everybody's on, and pretty much majority have gone for medium. Havoc looking for the excuse me, looking for the reverse strategy there, starting on the hards to mediums. I think the hards to mediums are fractionally quicker if there is no safety car, but there's not a huge amount in it. What you need to do obviously on the hards is to stay with the medium runners as best you can for the first sort of 6 or 7 laps, and then they'll start equalising, and then the hards will obviously become better as the mediums are getting towards around about lap 12 to 14. They'll be looking at pitting for those. So, right, let's get back to the race cars. Got a bit of a gap between Dr. Scenic and Mork there. Looks like the front three are quite keen to get on with this. But they are pretty much this mini straight ahead now, so I'm sure they'll bunch up on the back straight into the last sort of couple of corners before they take their grid positions, ready for the start of the 28 lap race at China. And just seeing that Nerdy has actually joined. Hopefully he'll be able to jump his way into a car and we will have a full grid. Good to see. Obviously last week we struggled a bit with attendances due to a certain football tournament that's been going on, but that obviously coming towards a climax now, getting drivers that are available again. So here we are, pulling up on to the start-finish line. Hans Buhr there getting himself disqualified. So he's not disqualified from the race, but just didn't nail his grid position, so it sets him back about a metre. So a little bit further to go, or a little bit less of a lead already, should I say. So Kieran is coming round. Don't think we're going to get Nerdy in, unfortunately. But we are set into position, and it is 2, 3 red lights, 4, 5 red lights. So long holder, the lights are out and off we go. And I don't see anybody getting an electric start here, all getting pretty decent starts, but nothing too huge. We had a couple look up the inside there. We have, unfortunately, Brother Adam. So every time I go to Brother Adam, he's spinning. So apologies for that. But looking behind, yeah, it looks like Brother Adam has had a collision with Kazernikov. Do we have any damage? No, it still looks like they've all got their wings. But anyway, jumping back to the front, Hans Buhr taking control of the race already with a 1.4 second gap on Dr. Scenic, who's got himself past Havoc already. I missed that whilst I was looking at what was going on behind, but yeah, Havoc dropping back a place, but on those hard tyres that he is going to struggle for warm-up. We have lost someone back there. MBB, I think it is. Yeah, MBB and the Mercedes pointing in the wrong direction and disqualified. Oh, this game, honestly, that needs sorting out. He's done exactly the right thing. He's waited for everybody to go past, and the game disqualifies him. That is absolutely ridiculous. So we have a yellow. I think it's just an isolated, so we're not looking at anything. But we got what has happened at the front. Hans Buhr now with nearly a 4-second gap on everybody else. Chef JB making a move up the inside on Weldy there. Side by side, giving each other both room and respect. That's good to see. And just creeps in front of him there. Kieran having a moment as he, yep, unfortunately not being a great start to his career, Kieran. So he struggled in the first race. Unfortunately, got caught out with the turn 1 at Bahrain and collected a couple of side pods, I think, on his front wing. And having a couple of spins today, but it's all persevering, getting with it. You'll learn, you get better, but just enjoying it is the main thing. So Hans Boer total got this in control at the moment. Nearly a 5-second gap on Havoc. I do hope Hans Boer watches his petrol tonight, though. I'd hate to see him lose out again. So we've got places all over all over the place. Price Phantom up into 9th place now, past Durex, so he's up 8 places from his starting position of 17th. So a really good start for him. Durek and Fairy Tale behind him, both up sort of 4 or 5 places as well. So we've had a fair few movers. Dr. Scenic obviously being one of the main losers out there, 13 positions. I'm going to try and catch as much as I can. In the early days, obviously, it is quite bunched out, and I'm missing Kazernikov and Double going side by side around turns 1, 2, and 3. Literally into 3. Kazernikov gets ahead there. So let's go back to the front. I just want to keep an eye on this battle here, because Mork is looking on the offensive with Kruder just in front, and Havoc broken himself out of that DRS, so he's 1.2 seconds ahead, so they really need to get that closed up and use that if they can. Havoc obviously on the hard tyres as well. Of that now. Chef JB is close, but not close enough. So lead at the front now. Hans Boer literally got this under control, got the gap out to nearly 6 seconds already. Havoc in second, as they're on those hard tyres, so expected him to drop off a bit, but he's doing well to keep himself in second place ahead of a group of medium tyres behind him. So unfortunately Nerdy wasn't able to make it tonight. He was basically 2 minutes too late, but I'm sure he'll be back and strong next week in Shanghai. I don't think he was particularly keen on the China circuit anyway, or on his pace or his chances, but it's one of those races you just got to keep going, and you never know what could turn out. But it gives him another week to get some practice in for Shanghai, so Nerdy, be looking forward to commentating on you winning in Shanghai next week. No pressure there. So Mork still behind Kruder, about 7/10 behind. So within the DRS zone, so he is closing, but not enough to look for any overtake on this lap. But further back we do have Prize Phantom, who is making a move up the inside of Double. So Prize, did he have a bit of an incident? Because I thought he was a bit higher than that. Wonder if he had a small tete-a-tete with someone and maybe dropped a couple of places. But working his way back again now. Doesn't look like he's got any damage, although Double hasn't given this up. Making Phantom work for it. Those jump back up as Mork is within 4/10 now of Crudor, so he is closing him down. Crudor dropping away from Havoc, so that's really not helping Mork at all at the moment. He'll want to get past and try and close that gap down to Havoc as quickly as possible. Zernikov and Jurek having a good battle here as well. I think not sure if we exchanged positions there or they were literally side by side, but we were down to about 0.003 of a second at one point. So we'll keep an eye on that. Baldi also close behind Composite. And Chef JB looking at the back of Skipper now. Skipper doing really well so far, so 3rd place in the last race, currently in 5th place. Looks to break later around the outside and retains the position. A good defensive drive in there from Skipper. Who else do we have? So Suzu and Dr. Scenic exchanging positions down there. I think Dr. Scenic wants that position back. He's going to look around the outside. Is he going to break early? It's too early a turn in for the cutback. Good idea. Mork now still all over the back of Crudor, but just can't find a way past at the moment. Still plenty of time to go, but he's not going to want to give up too much time. So currently he's going to be over 10 seconds behind Bua on the same tyre, so that's going to be a hefty gap to try and make that back up. Skipper is closing on to the pair of these now, and of course he's dragging along with him Chef JB, Composite and Baldi, so we could soon have about a 6. Oh, and saying that, Baldi deciding to do a little bit of drifting there. Hopefully, no, it's a nice safe return to track there. So Crudor and Mork still going at it, but Mork just can't get past Crudor, but he gets a good drive coming out of this final corner, but not as good as Crudor. Unless he is hammering his ERS, of course. What I will do, I don't normally do it, but I think on this occasion we'll put the telemetry up for today, just so we can see roughly where everybody is with regards to ERS, etc. Oh, a bit of a touch there by Mork, and that's brought Skipper right onto the back of him now. But yeah, it looks like Mork, not sure if he broke a little bit later than normal, and Crudor perhaps a little bit early, so 6.5 less than the other, but a bit of a nudge on the back, and has lost himself about half a second there, but I think he'll gain that back. But as I said, what it has done is it's allowed Skipper to now get within that DRS zone. So Dr. Scenic coming out of the pits, looks like he has, or coming into the pit, so he's going to get rid of those mediums a bit early, lap 7, but he hasn't got any damage. So he'll be looking at taking those tyres 21 laps. So we're a bit more spread out here, no one. Problem is we've got that DRS train now, so the one that is going to really struggle at the moment is going to be Mork, because he has dropped out of the DRS of Crudor in front, so he will have to probably burn his ERS to try and close that gap. Which is, some of the camera angles are really bad on this game. Okay, so this seems to be one of the main battles going on at the moment. Price Phantom in 10th place. Looks like he's still closing on the back of Durek, but that's roughly... Yeah, it's coming down sort of probably a 10th or so a lap, but we'll see if he can close it completely in and make a move. So we've concertinaed up again a little bit from 3rd down into 7th place. So it looks like Mork has made up, or is starting to make up that time that he lost with the minor contact. Luckily, looking at both of them, they don't have any damage at all. Oh, and there's Mork round, so that is his race probably finished now, unless we are going to get a safety car. I'm hoping Brother Adam is coming round. He should see... Yep, so Mork stayed off the line, rejoined safely there, but we are now... Got a bit of a gap forming here. Skipper is into 4th place, 1.5 seconds behind Crudor, so we see if he can chase that down. And Crudor actually comes into the pits. He's had enough of those mediums already and wants to ditch them. So the hards are very good round here. Once they get warm, you get an awful lot of grip for an awful long time. Or perhaps that might just be the way that I felt on them. But anyway, I'm going to give Havoc, Hans Brewer, just a little bit of screen time. I feel a bit sorry for him. He's so he took a good pole position before the conditions started to get damp. I think literally just he was 3/4 of the way around his lap, it started spitting, so it was ideal time for him. Then the lights went out and he's just bolted. He's gone. Over 8 seconds clear now of Havoc. Yes, Havoc is on the slower tyres, but 8-second lead is quite a buffer. So Kazernikov now. Somebody back there, we did. Chef JB has had a spin, and it looks like he's been hit, unfortunately, by Jurek. Fairy Tale and Nunez changing position there, double, just behind getting a good drive. Has he got damage? Oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. This is going to be bloody close. He's double going to go for the dive on the outside. Looks like he had the door firmly closed there in the braking zone by Nuno, but then looks for the cutback, gets a really good drive. Side by side doesn't work. Ooh, around that corner. Believe me, double getting caught out there by Nuno, shooting into the pits. So Mork picking up a penalty as well for multiple warnings. So it's going from bad to worse for him really in the race at the moment. The closest battle we've got on now is Phantom. He's worked his way back up into 7th place. Before I think it was 17th. So he's had a really good race so far. Always looking at a move up the inside of Jurek there. Jurek getting a bit out of shape on the defensive there. I think that is going to make him vulnerable down the long straight here. But Price has no ERS at all, so he is going to be dropping an awful lot of speed along the straights. Oh, a bit of a snap there by Price Phantom, and Jurek looking to take the place back, which he does. Oh my god, these are going to be side by side. Oh, it does work. Obviously depends who you're racing, I suppose. But well done for getting round there nice and cleanly at turn number 16. But Prize Phantom has no ERS at all. Jurek behind only has 24%, but he's still much better off than Prize. I think Prize is going to be a sitting duck going down the long straight here. Saying that Price is quite quick through this opening sector, so he is literally pulling out just enough. Only 3/4 of a second at the moment. I wonder if he can pull out enough to get to that second. Let's say without any. He's recovered 11%, so he's recovering a bit each lap, but he really is going to struggle if he burns it all down that start-finishing line. Once you get your ERS below 10%, it does start affecting your straight line speed. So Jurek is closing, but I know his brother Adam behind as well is closing on the pair of these two, so we could be in for a three-way battle soon. A lot of the gaps at the front are starting to eke out now, and Phantom there going into the pits, so he is going to come and get rid of those mediums, so he'll be looking at 16 laps on the hards. That's more than doable, and we'll be in good shape at the end. But when's Hans looking at pitting now with an 8-second lead? And Connor as well, just noticed he's managed to pull out 9 seconds on Skipper, who has got past Kazernikov and completely missed that. Well done, Skipper, back up into third position, same as last week, so see if he can finish there or better it. So when are the leaders going to pit? Obviously Havoc probably looking at taking to sort of lap 16 to 18, maybe a little bit sort of further, but it just depends how comfortable he is on those tyres. At the moment, as I say, he's getting quite comfortable, about 8.7 seconds behind. Losing ever such a small amount of time there. So I think the mediums are still, well, certainly in Hans Buur's hand, they are still the slightly quicker tyre at the moment. It's going to keep an eye back on here as well, as Malk is looking at closing down on Price. Phantom Price obviously just coming out of the pit, so he's going to have tyre warm-up issues. We have a yellow in sector 3. No, don't tell me that's Hans. No, that's Jurek, I think. Yeah, Jurek with a incident on turn 14. The composite now into the pits. And Malk and Price Phantom are having a real ding-dong here. So Price getting the better run there, but again burning his ERS, which he doesn't have much of, is going to make him vulnerable when it comes to the back straight. Kieran into the pits now for a fresh set of tyres. Kazernikov just behind. When is Hans Buur going to pit? Not this lap. Right, so the closest battle we've got at the moment, we've got two. We've got Kazernikov and Skipper for third and fourth. Really want Skipper to stay ahead if he can, but both got no ERS at all, so it's going to be difficult for either. Oh! Ay. That's, this is such a... Oh, Skipper's been reset to track as well, so he'll have to go and do another lap. Oh, so unfortunate for Skipper. In such a good place. I'm going to blame Hammers because he's just posted, "Let's go, Skipper," and then that happened. So it's your fault, Hammers. Oh. Bless. Right, okay, so hopefully Skipper can get going again. It'll be damage limitations, but obviously one lap further than he wanted to do on those mediums now. Sousa and brother Adam. I think brother Adam might have had another small mishap there. He's losing a couple of positions. So Skipper, yeah, now 20 seconds back. So he's lost a good 10 seconds, 10, 11 seconds there, thanks to that pit lane incident. It's a very difficult pit lane entry to get right here. But I say, just on an initial look, it looks like, unfortunately, Skipper didn't do anything wrong and was hit up the backside, basically. Okay, so is Hansborough gonna? Is he ever gonna pit? At 15, so his tyres are going to be probably 60–70% by now, if not more. So he's going to start struggling for traction, and Skipper safely makes it into the pit lane this time. So we'll see exactly how much time he has lost. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a huge amount. Yeah, down into 9th. That really has cost Skipper. That is so unfortunate. Right, okay, so let's have a look. But what it has done is it's brought this field back together again. I mean, hopefully Skipper 2.5 seconds behind, but he does have a gaggle of about 4 cars in front of him, separated by, well, you could see, absolutely next to nothing, really. Composite in there as well, Skipper's teammate. So I think Skipper's going to struggle for the first lap or two, but then once he gets those tyres up to temperature, he will be back on it. So hoping he can close in. I think a podium might be out of the question now. Crudel there, absolutely benefiting from that incident. So Hansborough has now pitted, sets himself on to a set of hards. So well done to TGL Stewart, who actually said that he was going to probably pit this lap, and he did. So Hansborough regains or returns the track in 2nd place, 15 seconds down on Connor. Obviously Connor will now look at, well, putting in a couple of laps as quick as he bloody well can, to be honest with you. Chef JB picking up a penalty there. Sousa and Prize Phantom fighting away. You see some good little overtakes in here, which is good. Durek into the pits. So that's a place up for Skipper now. Up into 7th place, 1.9. So he is closing down on the people in front of him. But unfortunately, I think it was looking good for a podium for Skipper, but it's I think he'll do well to get there now. I mean, obviously people with penalties in front of him, so he could still be looking at 4th, and you never know what is going to happen further up. But the lead now up to 16.5 seconds. Hansborough just getting those hard tyres warmed up as best he can, and burning an awful lot of his ERS. He is going for it to try and close his gap down. Connor with 46%, Hansborough with about 56%, so similar on ERS. Stuart predicting that Connor should pit about lap 18, 19. So again, we'll see if he's right. But also Stuart not a fan of this track by the looks of it. He's looking quite forward to Singapore next week. Sorry Stuart, I haven't seen your race yet. I will catch up on it. Just been a bit short of time this week, but hopefully Singapore will be a little bit more comfortable for you. So we have Fairy Tale now into the pits, so Skipper up into 6th place, literally just behind his teammate now. So I think you're looking at trying to make the move on him, whether they are talking to each other and will allow it, or whether it's going to be an out-and-out race. You never know with the Ferraris. Not just here, real life as well. We've also got a good battle going on behind with Prize and Kazernikov. I thought Kazernikov was just going to drive the right way through the back of it. And Brother Adam just behind as well. So another thing, and Kazernikov just behind him as well. So it's all budging up again there. But I just want to keep an eye on what's going on. Composite was so close then. I wonder if he... Connor has pitted lap 18. Congratulations, Stuart. You got that bang on. If you can come back next week and tell me when people are going to pit, I really would appreciate it. Composite making the move around the outside of Malk there, turn number 14, so that leaves Skipper just behind now to chase down Malk. See if Composite can hold him up ever so slightly, obviously with that penalty as well. It's going to hurt him towards the end, but Malk just blasts past. So unfortunately with the DRS and the ERS advantage, wasn't overly difficult for him. Brother Adam, who do we have here? Souza is now pitting. So that will drop him down. We'll see where he is going to rejoin. He might lose another couple of positions. Oh, that was close. And the McLaren of Jurek is just behind him. Well, just I didn't catch that on camera because I was looking backwards, but again looks like a bit of a nudge in the back, which if that is the case then Sousa should really give that position back to Kieran. We'll keep an eye on what is happening down there, but back up here, Composite and Malk. Who's that in front? Dr. Scenic, I think, about to be lapped, so that ring needs to ease off, let them both through, which he does, so well done. Oh, he still squeezes him on the corner. You're being lapped, get out of the way. So Brother Adam now passed as well. Cheers, bring the tyres up. Yeah, double going in on two softs, as Hammers has just pointed out. So that is going to be a bit of a stretch. 2 laps already. 9, 10 to go. 9 to go, including the one, but no, he's not. We will see. Kieran picking up a 3-second penalty there, so again not been best of races for him, but Hansberger back out, as I say, in front after Havoc coming in. Well, it was 7.4, so he is closing that down. Composite still ahead of his teammate Skipper, with Malk literally just in front of them. Connor putting in a fastest lap 36.081, which you would expect on the mediums this late on. Gap down to 7.1. Keeping an eye on Brother Adam in 7th. to see if he can bridge that gap to Skipper, because he is dragging Kozelnikov along with him, so we could end up with a 5-car battle. So down 9 laps to go, including the one that we are on. Composite trying everything to get past Morg in front, but just not able to. But what he doesn't want to do is hold his teammate up. The teammate's got more pace, 2 lap fresher tyres as well. It would probably be wise to let him go and have an attack. So brother Adam all over the back of Kozelnikov. Please don't spin this time, brother Adam. It seems as though every time I've gone to you today. So let's see you going in the right direction, so you make a nice move down the start-finish line. Can't see happening at the moment. I think the gap's just a little bit too big. Meanwhile, back to this battle. Composite is closing. Is he going to go for a move this time? Yeah, well, he did this last time, and staying behind, and he has lost the place to Skipper. So going wide there has let his teammate pass. So Skipper now on to the back of Morg. Skipper back up into 5th. And Skipper now up in a 4th with a great move up the inside of Morg there. This is Skipper using pretty much all his ERS to get that done. But if you can get the move done and you're quicker through this, through the midfield section, then you can do just enough to get yourself out of the DRS zone by the time we get to the long straight. Brother Adam still just a few tenths behind Chef JB. The rest of the field is pretty spaced out, apart from, as I say, this battle for 4th, which Skipper now heads. But one thing I am going to bring up is the fact that we have had no safety car, as I'm sure you've noticed. Fuel, I believe, could become an issue in the last 2 laps. We could see a bit of fuel saving going on. We could see people that just don't know and will run out of fuel completely. I say Hans Boer, hopefully he has learnt from yesterday and has perhaps just put a little bit of extra fuel in for tonight. Kozelnikov on the back of this battle, price found 12.5 seconds back, so I can't see him getting onto the back of here. Brother Adam going for the move on Chef JB. Chef JB just getting a little bit late on the brakes, bit of rubber to rubber contact there, and Chef JB looking for a move up on the outside and makes it cleanly. So Chef JB back into 10th place. Composite, he struggled to get past Morg for about the last 7 or 8 laps. He just he tried everything. I think every time he's got past, he's literally just got back again. I thought we were going to have a move there from Kozelnikov on the inside, but it's only got a nice little battle going on between the Ferraris and the Aston Martins here. How they're going to finish, we don't know at the moment. Ferrari with the upper hand. Still on the back of Price Phantom. Price Phantom is bringing that gap down, but I think there is not enough of the race to go to pull himself back there, and we've lost Jurek. What has happened to Jurek? He has retired. Oh, please don't tell me he's retired in the pit lane. Well, his car has now stopped on turn 1, which is why we don't do it. Well done, excellent. That is why we don't retire in the pits. Unbelievable. Right. back to the race. I'm sure that will be reported. If it isn't, then I will make sure that I do it myself, because that is ridiculous. So Kosernikov has got his way past Composite and Malk there after missing that. Unbelievable. Sorry, I'm still angry about that, but right, so Aston Martin's now in 5th and 6th. Skipper pulling away in 4th, though. I don't think he's going to be able to close. Well, 21 seconds, he's not going to close that on Kudor. But the gap at the top now down to 5.5 seconds. What are we looking at? 6 laps to go, including the one that we're on. So 2 retirements so far. Obviously, well, MBB getting disqualified for doing the right thing. Waiting for everyone to get past and trying to get back on track, and the stupid game disqualifying him for going in the wrong direction. And then Jurek, we just saw, obviously decided he had enough and went off to do something else, leaving his car to come back on track and nearly caused an accident. Apart from that, 17 drivers still in. Obviously Nerdy unable to make it, would have made the 20th, so full grid, always good to see. Composite still trying to battle his way past Malk. I think that's been, yeah, it's been pretty much, I think, half the race. He's going to go to sleep tonight, and he's just going to see that Aramco logo, I think, in his dreams. But Skipper now being closed up ever so slightly by Kosernikov. See if Skipper can hold on to 4th place. So Composite, in fairness, only has to sit behind Malk for the last couple of laps, as long as he doesn't get himself too far out, because Malk having the penalty is going to drop positions there. Who do we have? It's like Prize Phantom having another. It's been a yo-yo race for him today. As they miss. Oh, Christ. In fairness, I think that was Fairy Tale giving him the position back, so I think they might have had some. No, well, he takes it back now. Anyway, so Prize Phantom, want to be careful on those tyres because they are going to be blooming hot. But Kosernikov now looking for a move up the inside of which can't get a decent camera angle, and they're going to be side by side. Please, no, this doesn't work. Luckily, we did not see a bigger accident there, or a big accident, and an accident at all, because I managed to get away with it. But Kosernikov putting the hammer down at the moment, putting Skipper under an awful lot of pressure, both with a similar amount of ERS, but obviously Kosernikov will have the advantage of DRS. We have a small closed up grid here as well. Brother Adam closing on to the back of Beldy now, so looking to try and get up into 9th place if he can, both on hard tyres, but Beldy on 18 lap old tyres after pitting early. Chef JB just behind Brother Adam, about half a second, but 15 lap old hard. So the person with the best Havoc must have made a mistake, which I have missed. He's now 15 seconds behind. Hansberry was closing down, had that to round about the 5-second mark. So unfortunate for Havoc, but I am sure Hansberry is rubbing his hands together. Takes the pressure off him for the last 2.5 laps. Zernikov going for the move and makes it cleanly on Skipper. I think Skipper may sit behind. Kosernikov has used all of his ERS to make that overtake. Skipper's going to have slightly more, plus the DRS. Is he going to get past around the outside in the turn 1? bit of weave in there by Kozelnikov. Just about on the limits there, so you are only supposed to change direction once. Baldy and brother Adam battling away, and they were good. Yeah, they're both out, both spun. Be careful coming back on track, and he spun again, which is quite often happens when you get back on. Your tyres are absolutely roasting and you floor it, and that happens. So Prize Phantom and brother Adam still battling away, but dropping down the field. Composite still within a second of Mork, so he's not letting him out of his sights, but he just can't get past him. We'll just have a look at the penalties just to see who has what. Everybody with 3 seconds other than Chef JB, who unfortunately has a 5-second penalty. Quick look at the tyres as well. Those 10-lap old softs for double must be absolutely knackered. In fact, I'm just going to have a quick look at double just to see how he is, but those tyres look horrible. 16.7 seconds, so yeah, he's losing time hand over fist now. The composite actually looks like he has finally made his way past Mork. So we have the 2 Ferraris splitting the 2 Aston Martins, and Skipper, if he has anything to do with it, will get his arse back in front of that Aston Martin of Kozelnikov before the end of the race. So Mork won't have given up on that place, but obviously he needs to be aware he's got that 3-second time penalty as well. Chef JB will be unaffected by his penalty. I'm just looking down. Prize Phantom, he needs to close in just about half a second or so, and then he will make up a position there. Maybe even 2 if he can get it into a couple of seconds. But right, okay, I am going to jump back. Sorry, Hans, I have hardly shown you at all today, but you have just, I mean, apart from the pit stop and, well, you've led pretty much from start to finish. Connor in 2nd place, still very good for him. Only his 2nd league race for DTR, and so far pretty damn good start, winning last week and currently in 2nd place. Looks like he will come home in 2nd. But let's run on board with Hans Buehrer a bit. I say he deserves a little bit of a credit for a fantastic race. Hasn't put a foot wrong. I say only lost the lead when he pitted. Havoc pitting about 3-4 laps later. And it looked like the fight was on for a while. Havoc was closing it down from around about 8-9 seconds. Got it down to about 5 seconds, but unfortunately off camera must have had a small incident and lost about 10 seconds. Double 10-second time penalty there. I'm not surprised, to be honest. I think he's struggling to keep that thing on track. So here we go. Hans Buehrer coming round the final corner to take victory in round 2 at the Chinese Grand Prix. In 2nd place, Connor is now coming round the penultimate corner, just coming up towards turn number 16 now for the last time today. We have a bit of movement back here. Salza, no, let's go back. Okay. Yeah, Salza. Sorry, I'm going backwards and forwards here. I think Salza is out of fuel. Right, okay, let's see. Where are we? Kudor comes across the line to take a great 3rd position for him there. Kozelnikov is coming across into 4th. Skipper just behind, I think struggling for fuel. Has had to ease off these last couple of laps, as has Composite, but Skipper in 5th, Composite coming home 6th, Mork just behind in 7th. So good racing today from the Aston Martin and Ferrari. That was very enjoyable to watch. Composite making his way past Mork in the end. Chef JB coming home in 8th with a 5-second penalty, but it shouldn't drop him any positions. Fairy Tale coming across in 9th. BB Bowdy out of juice. He was going to lose that last 10th, that last point to Prize Phantom. Then Kieran Trollface. BB Bowdy actually drops down to 12th in the end. Brother Adam will come home in 13th, again out of fuel. Salza out of fuel. And that is the end of round 2. Okay, so there we have Hans Buhr on the podium, taking his first race win of the season. So you have a Connor picking up 2nd place, so he will still lead the championship, I believe, after today. We'll just wait and see. So let's run through the official results. So Hans Buhr taking his win there for McLaren. Pole position as well. Unfortunately, not getting fastest lap, so he didn't get the hat trick. But Connor coming home in 2nd. Then we have Crudor in 3rd. 4th place is Kozernikov, who had a great battle with Skipper Composite, and Mork coming home just behind him. Chef JB in 8th. Fairy Tale 9th. Prize Phantom in 10th. And Kieran Trollface recovering from the back of the grid, qualifying band to 11th. So not bad for him, just outside the points. I'm sure he'll take that. BV Buddy in 12th, Brother Adam, after numerous spins, sorry about that, every time I went to you, in 13th, Souza 14th, 15th, Nuno Rod in 16th, Dr. Scenic 17th, Double 18th, retiring in the pits was Jurek, and 19th, getting unfortunately disqualified was MBB. So that brings to a close round number 2 of Season 5 for Division 5. And we will be back next week. If I get the calendar up, back next week we are at Singapore. So obviously starting with Divisions 1 and 3 on Tuesday. Then we have 2 and 4 on a Wednesday. And then we'll be back for Division 5 next Thursday. So thank you all for listening. I hope you all have a good evening and you've enjoyed the racing tonight. I'll say goodbye. Take care.